Coach. Would you like to just share a few words with us about your team, about the ability to finish this process, and just any words of wisdom before we start?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's certainly been a strange year, online school and all that for the last few months, and we're really grateful for WBGU for taking the time to put this together. We know with the number of teams that are still left, we face two of the three other teams that are remaining at this point, and they are very, very, very good, and we're really hoping that we can do well. And I know that these guys are up for it.
All right. Any just words for your team, about your team, I should say. Give us a few words about your team.
Calvin, you can see is a sophomore and has made the most improvement in 1 year of any player I've seen in 20 years of doing this. He's really done an amazing job. Ben has been captain for 2 years. Darby has been coming on strong. I feel really good about where we're at right now, and I feel really good about where we're going to be at in the future as well.
Fantastic. All right, with that being said, I think it's time to begin this round. Again, this is the toss-up round. 10 points apiece, no deduction for an incorrect answer. There are only 15 questions in this round. It is untimed in terms of the amount of questions, but time will start when I finish the question, 5 seconds, and then you will get an additional 5 seconds if you buzz in. Please wait, I repeat, please wait until I finish reading the question before you buzz in. TSA, Calvin, Ben, Darby, here we go. Signed in a meadow along the River Thames, this document directed King John to interact with his subjects according to customs of feudal law, and also reduced the powers of the king. Name this charter signed in 1215. That would be Calvin.
Magna Carta.
Correct. Next question. What is the full name of the disease abbreviated MS? That would be Ben.
Multiple sclerosis.
That is correct. Next question. Lemonade Lucy was a nickname given to which first lady because of her staunch support of temperance? That will be Lucy Hayes, wife of President Rutherford B. Hayes, right there in Fremont, Ohio. Next question. In geology, what guiding principle states that the oldest rock is typically at the bottom of a sample, while newer rock is nearer the top? That would be Calvin.
Principle is superposition.
That is correct. Our next question in this head-to-head toss-up round is, which state is nicknamed the first state? That would be Calvin.
Delaware.
Delaware is correct. Our next question in this head-to-head toss-up round is, Holden Caulfield is the protagonist of what post-war coming-of-age novel? That would be Calvin.
Catcher in the Rye.
Catcher in the Rye is correct. Next question. What is the capital of Illinois? Calvin.
Springfield.
Correct. Our next question. Who wrote The Red Badge of Courage? Calvin.
Crane.
Crane is correct. Stephen Crane. Next question. What do physicists call the size of an object expressed as a quantity? Calvin.
Mass.
Incorrect. Magnitude is what we needed there. Magnitude. Here's our next question. How old must you be to be elected as President of the United States? Calvin.
35.
Correct. Next question. Altogether, how many people have landed on the moon as of May 2020? Calvin.
12.
Is correct. 12 is correct. Next question. What do we call numbers that equal the product of a real number and the square root of -1? Calvin.
Complex numbers.
Incorrect. Imaginary numbers. Imaginary numbers. Here's our next question. What do ornithologists study? Calvin.
Birds.
They do indeed study birds. Here's our next question. Triton is a moon of what planet? Calvin.
Neptune.
Correct. Next question. Which are the largest group of freshwater lakes in the world? Darby.
The Great Lakes.
The Great Lakes is correct. That is all 15 questions in the head-to-head toss-up round. In just a moment, you will see the categories for the category round. The category round, again, there is no overall time limit, but still the same thing occurs. You have 5 seconds at the end of the question, and if you thumbs up in or buzz in, you get an additional 5 seconds to answer. Deductions start just like normal. There are 6 categories to choose from: 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 points. But again, deductions start now. So if you go for 15, you are risking 15. Again, please wait for me to finish asking the question before giving the thumbs up to buzz in. Again, there is no consulting in this round. And here is the twist. Since you are competing against no one, out of the 30 questions, you get to select 20. 20 out of 30 questions you get to select. Team captain, you will be making the selections. Okie dokie. Ben, we are now starting the category round. Make your first selection, please.
Awesome. We're going to do feudal systems for 30.
Feudal systems for 30. Answer these questions related to the feudal system. Under which king did feudalism begin in England? That would be Calvin.
Alfred the Great.
Incorrect. William the Conqueror. Ben, your next selection.
Feudal systems for 25.
Feudal systems for 25 points. In what Eurasian country was the feudal system not formally abolished until 1861? Time. That would be Russia. TSA, your next selection.
Do history's mysteries for 30.
History's mysteries for 30 points. I will read you a description of an unsolved mystery. You provide the answer. These 2 boys, the only sons of Edward IV, were supposedly drowned in a butt of Malmsey, but in truth, no one knows how or where they died. Time. That will be Edward V of England and Richard, Duke of York. Toledo School for the Arts, your next selection.
History's mysteries for 25.
History's mysteries now for 25 points. These ancient lines etched in the desert floor in South America form recognizable shapes, but only when seen from far above as from a plane. Time. That would be Nazca lines. Toledo School for the Arts, your next selection.
Histories, mysteries for 20.
Histories, mysteries for 20. This Victorian serial killer has never been identified. That would be Ben.
Jack the Ripper.
Correct. Toledo School for the Arts, your next selection, please. You have 15 questions remaining.
Histories, mysteries for 15.
Histories, mysteries for 15. Youngest daughter of Tsar Nicholas II, who was killed by Bolsheviks in 1918. Nevertheless, several young women over the years claimed to be this Grand Duchess. That would be Darby, you buzzed in.
Anastasia.
That is correct. Ben, your next selection for Toledo School for the Arts.
Finishing off that category with histories, mysteries for 10.
Finishing off histories, mysteries for 10 points. Teamsters president whose body has never been found. That would be James Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa. Toledo School for the Arts, your next selection.
Feudal systems for 20.
Feudal systems for 20 points. What is the primary basis of wealth in a feudal system? That would be Calvin.
Land.
Land is correct. Next question.
Feudal systems for 15.
Feudal systems for 15 points. What calamity ended the feudal system in most of Europe? That was Calvin who got in first.
Black Plague.
The Black Plague, Black Death, or the bubonic plague. We would have accepted any of those answers. Correct. Next selection, please.
Yep, and ending all that with a feudal system for 10.
Ending feudal system with 10 points. Name the 3 distinct social classes into which people are divided in a feudal system. That would be Calvin.
Serfs, lords, and knights.
Incorrect. The monarchy, the nobility, and peasants is what we needed there. You have 10 selections remaining.
Yeah, we're going to do viruses for 30.
Viruses for 30 points. I will read you the technical name of a virus, and you provide the name of the disease or affliction it causes. H1N1. Calvin.
Flu.
More specific, please.
Influenza.
Incorrect. Swine flu. We needed specifically swine flu there. Next selection for Toledo School for the Arts.
Viruses for 25.
Viruses now for 25 points. H5N1. That would be the bird flu. Bird flu. TSA, next selection, please.
Viruses for 20.
Viruses now for 20 points. Orthopox virus. That would be Darby.
Chickenpox.
Incorrect. Smallpox. Smallpox. Toledo School for the Arts, next selection, please.
Viruses for 15.
Viruses now for 15 points. Varicella virus. Varicella virus, that is chickenpox. That is chickenpox or shingles. Next selection, please.
And ending viruses with viruses for 10.
Viruses now for 10 points. The rhinovirus. That would be Calvin.
Common cold.
That is indeed the common cold. You have 5 selections remaining. 5 selections remaining.
Medical abbreviations for 30.
Medical abbreviations for 30 points. Identify the meaning of these medical abbreviations. DOA. Time. That unfortunately is dead on arrival. Dead on arrival. Next selection, please. 4 questions remaining.
Medical abbreviations for 25.
Medical abbreviations now for 25 points. IV. That will be Ben.
Intravenous.
Intravenous is correct. You now have 3 selections left. Toledo School for the Arts.
Medical abbreviations for 20.
Medical abbreviations now for 20 points. OR. That will be Ben.
Operating room.
Correct. 2 questions remaining.
Medical abbreviations for 15.
Medical abbreviations now for 15 points. LPN. That will be licensed practical nurse. You have 1 selection remaining.
Yeah, we'll finish that category with the last one for 10.
Medical abbreviations for 10 points. ICU. That will be Ben.
Intensive care unit.
That is correct. That is all 20 questions. Your total score for the BGSU Brain Game Finale Special Edition is 165 points. Coach, final words about your team and about your season.
We've had a great season, and we look forward to seeing everyone at WBGU next year.
Fantastic. That is a wrap for us here. Again, we want to thank you guys so much for taking the time and making the effort to make this finale possible.